Look, most of the guys at the gun counter think straight pull rifles are just overpriced safe queens for European aristocrats. Honestly, until right now, they were not entirely wrong. But here is the deal. If you are still racking a traditional 4-step turn bolt like it is 1999, you are bleeding time and losing targets. The industry just flipped the script at the 2026 SHOT Show. They finally stripped away the ridiculous luxury price tags and built linear actions meant for real American dirt. You think you know what budget precision looks like? You have never seen this level of raw cyclic speed for under $2,000. I am about to break down the top 5 budget straight pull rifles that are making traditional bolt guns look like absolute relics. Stepping up the game at number 5. We have the CG Haenel Jaeger NXT Composite. Eats 308 and 30-06 for breakfast. This German import is not your standard tactical rig. It tips the scales at exactly 7 pounds and rocks a 20.5-inch cold hammer forged barrel. Under the hood, it ditches the complex bearings for a patented torsion bolt design. Instead of just yanking the handle straight back, you push it slightly forward and pivot it outward. This specific motion mechanically kicks a torsion lever locked inside the bolt assembly. That internal leverage gives you the massive primary extraction force needed to rip a swollen brass casing off the chamber walls before the bolt glides smoothly to the rear. Shooting this rig is a unique experience. The direct pull trigger snaps like a frozen pine branch at a clean 2.2 pounds. Recoil from a heavy hunting load shoves your shoulder like a swinging oak door. Completely manageable, but you definitely know it went off. The stock is a wild mix of polymer and real wood fibers, giving you the harmonic dampening of traditional timber without the swelling issues when the weather turns completely nasty. Look, I have to be honest about the mechanics here. The deal breaker for me comes down to ergonomics. Resting vertically in battery, that kick-down bolt handle sits at an awkward angle right where your firing hand thumb wants to naturally ride. You will need serious dry fire reps to build the muscle memory for that outward push. Otherwise, you will fumble the cycle when a trophy buck steps out. The damage to your wallet is roughly $2,000. This rig is solid, but wait until you see the monster at number 1. Now we get serious, stepping into German engineering territory with the Mauser 25 Extreme. I know the purists will hate this, but you do not need to spend $5,000 to get European linear speed anymore. Sound off below if you trust this rig. This rifle slings 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor downrange, weighing in at an ultralight 6.4 pounds. Under the hood, you will find the real magic. It utilizes the newly patented Spreadlock 250 mechanism. Instead of delicate bearings, it uses 2 massive lateral locking lugs that tilt outward when driven forward. This gives you a massive 66 square millimeters of locking surface area. That means it provides more structural rigidity than the legendary Mauser 98 action, guaranteeing your receiver stays locked tight under maximum chamber pressures. Operating this action is ridiculously slick because it uses an internal hammer-fired design that cocks on the rearward travel. You are left with 0 spring resistance when pushing forward into battery. The single stage trigger breaks like stepping on a dry sheet of ice, perfectly set from the factory. Sending heavy hunting loads down a 20-inch tube produces a recoil pulse that punches like a heavyweight. Fast and direct, but easily managed if your stance is solid. Look, perfection does not exist at this price point. The absolute deal breaker here is the aesthetics and build of the factory furniture. While the steel action is pure precision, that injection molded polymer stock feels aggressively cheap and hollow. It will bend right out of shape if you load a bipod heavily on a barricade. It sets you back roughly $1,850. Entering the elite tier at number 3, we have the Bushmaster BA-30. Feeds on .308 and 6.5 Creedmoor from standard 10-round AR-10 pattern magazines. Tipping the scales right around 7.5 to 8 pounds. Depending on if you choose the 18 or 24-inch barrel, this is not a traditional deer rifle. Honestly, it perfectly bridges the gap between modern sporting rifles and manual actions. Under the hood, the engineering is wild. It utilizes a proprietary spring-forward auto-return system built directly into the bolt carrier group. When you pull the extended lateral charging handle rearward, you are physically compressing a heavy internal recoil spring. Once the spent brass ejects, you simply let go. That stored kinetic energy violently drives the bolt forward, stripping a fresh round and rotating the lugs into a locked state inside the barrel extension. Mechanically, it gives you the blistering cyclic rate of a semi-automatic without tapping any dirty gas into the receiver. Pulling the 2-stage trigger feels like snapping a glass rod at exactly 4.5 pounds. Fired from the shoulder, the kick on this platform is like a solid punch to a heavy bag, mostly soaked up by the overall mass and the proprietary muzzle brake. Look, let's be real about the flaws. This rig runs incredibly fast, but it has a nasty performance quirk. If you ride that charging handle forward even a fraction of an inch instead of letting the spring fly, you will induce a frustrating failure to feed. You absolutely must run this gun violently, or it will hang up on you right when it matters. Street price is sitting right at $1,799. Closer to the crown, at number 2, we have the Beretta BRX-1 Ranch. Slings .308 and 6.5 Creedmoor with absolute authority. Tipping the scales at an ultralight 6.3 pounds, this Italian beast is purpose-built for mobility in dense brush. Under the hood, you are getting a highly advanced linear to rotary conversion system. Pulling the handle straight back drives a precisely machined internal cam pin that forces the bolt head to mechanically rotate. That rotation unlocks 8 massive lugs from the barrel extension before gliding back on precision machined internal guide rails. This completely eliminates the binding you usually feel with cylindrical bolts, making the cycle ridiculously smooth. The single-stage hammer fired trigger breaks crisply, crumbling like a stale cracker right at 2.1 pounds if you set it to the lightest pull weight. Sending a heavy round out of that short 16-inch cold hammer forged barrel means the recoil jumps like a startled coyote. It is a lightweight rig, so you will definitely feel at terminal performance against your shoulder. Listen, modularity is great, but we have a major financial flaw here. Extra 10-round polymer magazines and proprietary sub-assemblies will completely drain your wallet. The base rifle is an incredible value, but outfitting it with spare parts is where the European origin tax really hurts. You are looking at dropping around $1,569 for the flat dark earth model. Taking the absolute crown at number 1, we have the Savage Impulse Hog Hunter. Spits 6.5 Creedmoor and .308 Winchester with total reliability. Weighing right around 7.9 pounds, this rig utilizes a heavy 20-inch threaded tube. Listen, this platform claims the throne because it gives you the ultra-fast linear cycling of number 2, but completely strips away the frustrating European origin tax that plagues number 5. You are getting pure, unapologetic utility instead of a fragile safe queen. Under the hood, Savage engineered their proprietary hex lock system. Pushing the ambidextrous bolt handle forward drives an internal plunger, which forces 6 heavy steel ball bearings outward into a machined recess inside the steel barrel extension. This means the lockup actually tightens proportionately as the cartridge detonation pressure spikes. Because that massive explosion is contained entirely within the barrel extension, the aluminum receiver takes zero structural load. That specific design choice allowed Savage to mill a 20 MOA optics rail directly into the receiver forging, completely eliminating the tolerance stacking and zero shift you get with cheap screwed-on bases. Squeezing the adjustable trigger feels amazing. It breaks like an icicle snapping under a heavy steel toe boot. Sending terminal performance downrange, the physical mass of the gun soaks up the recoil pulse like a thick, wet sponge. You can comfortably stay on the glass and watch your hit impact the target without losing your sight picture. Expect to shell out between $899 and $1,319. Here is the bottom line. The firearms industry just handed you a massive gift. For over a century, the traditional turn bolt was your only realistic option unless you had a massive trust fund. Now, advanced manufacturing and aerospace-grade aluminum have completely democratized the linear action. You are getting the cyclic speed of a semi-automatic with the acoustic performance and absolute reliability of a sealed breech. The tactical hunters and the budget preppers are already catching on to this massive shift in the market. Do not get left behind running legacy actions while the rest of the world speeds up. If you want the raw truth without the fluff, lock it in right here.